Hello, I'm Jonathan Dunsky, author of the Adam Lapid Mysteries, and today I'd like to tell you about Swag by Elmore Leonard. If you're a reader of crime fiction, you may already be aware of Elmore Leonard and may have read some of his books. He was one of the most well-respected and highly known authors of crime fiction, and he was mostly admired for his ability to use dialogue as a way to provide characterization without using too much description and background. And his ear for dialogue was such that his characters feel very real and realistic and natural when they converse with one another. You sort of feel like you're eavesdropping on just a regular conversation in someone's everyday life. And Swag is a prime example that displays this immense talent that he had. Swag begins when a professional car thief called Ernest Stickley, nicknamed Stick, steals a car from a used car lot, and as he's driving out of that car lot, he is stopped by an employee who works there, a guy named Frank Ryan, who accuses Stickley of stealing that car. And Stickley behaves very cool, even though he is accused of a crime, and Ryan is impressed by that. Eventually, Stickley breaks off their short conversation and drives off. Ryan informs the police that the car has been stolen. They apprehend Stickley, but their only evidence against him is Ryan identifying him as the car thief. When Stickley is brought to trial, Ryan takes the stand and he says that he is unable to identify Stickley, unable to finger him as the car thief, so Stickley is released. When he walks out of that courtroom a free man, Ryan is waiting for him. They go out and have a drink together, and then Ryan asks Stickley to become his partner basically to join him as a partner in a criminal venture. Ryan tells Stickley that he has done a study of various possibilities, various crime ventures, and that the one that he has deduced that will provide them with the most cash and the least risk is armed robbery. And Ryan tells Stickley that as long as they follow his 10 rules that he has devised for success and happiness, that they should have no trouble making a good living out of armed robbery and avoid being caught. And he lays out these rules before Stickley, and Stickley is quite impressed by them. The rules, they include things like be polite when you are performing that robbery, don't associate with known criminals more than you absolutely have to, things like that. Stickley is impressed. He agrees to become Frank Ryan's partner, and they begin a string of armed robberies in the area of Detroit. They rob places like bars and supermarkets. They don't go for banks because that is too much risk. And they never make a major score, but they bring in enough money to live comfortably. They move into a nice apartment together, into a building where they meet a lot of eligible women and have nice parties and sort of start settling into their new life as partners, as armed robbers, and as just people who are enjoying the life that they are creating for themselves. Things get complicated when certain differences in the personalities of Frank Ryan and Stickley start raising the tension between the two partners, and also when one of them stops adhering to the 10 rules as strictly as he should. And in the end, one of them persuades the other to embark on or try an even bigger robbery, a much riskier and more complicated thing than they've ever attempted before, but one with a much higher potential for a reward. And into the story also come in various other criminals, very colorful characters who are even sort of more dangerous than the pair of them. So things get complicated and more and more as the story goes along. This is a short book. You can read it easily in 2 or 3 sittings, and it flows very quickly. And as I said, the dialogue is fantastic, and I think the dialogue is largely what makes the story so easy and quick to read. I don't think it's one of the best Elmore Leonard novels. I've read a couple that were, or maybe even more than a couple that were better, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. I had a lot of fun with it. And if you're looking for something light that's well written and even has a bit of humor in it, I think that Swag is a terrific choice. So if you're in the mood for something like that, give it a try. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think you will too.